Hello again to another Agricola React, and today we will be watching 50 geography facts most people get wrong from Earth Basics. And I'm hoping that I don't get that many of them wrong. Because I like to think that geography is something that I do know. Not obviously everything, but a fair bit. So let's just start. And I have a piece of paper and a pen, pencil actually in this case, and I'll be trying to mark, if I remember, how many did I know and how many I didn't. Let's see.
So here are the 50 biggest misconceptions about geography.
When
it comes to geographical facts, there are many discussions and doubts. Today we are going to clear up those doubts. In this video, we're clearing up 50 geography facts that most people get wrong. Now, before the video starts, I would like to mention that these facts are based on what most people think.
Okay.
So I know returning viewers probably do know these facts. Now, let's begin. The first one is that Great Britain and the United Kingdom are not the same. Yes, guys, some people still think it is. Just like Holland and the Netherlands. Despite popular belief that the Netherlands and Holland are the same, it's not true. The Netherlands is divided into 12 provinces, of which 2 are called North and South Holland. So next time you're going to Amsterdam, you're going to Amsterdam inside North Holland, which is in the Netherlands. Another fact about the Netherlands is that there are more places besides Amsterdam. Yes, really.
I'm from
the
Europe,
Statue
so
of Liberty is in New York, is not part of New York. Geographically, it is on the New Jersey side of the state boundary, and is even on the New Jersey Register.
Okay, so far so good.
The capital of the United Arab Emirates is not Dubai, it's Abu Dhabi. The capital of Turkey is not Istanbul, it's Ankara. The capital of Brazil is not Rio de Janeiro, it's Brasilia. And the capital of Canada is not Toronto, it's Ottawa.
Yeah.
Now the next fact was a misconception made by me in another video.
Ouch.
Florida is the southernmost.
So there's a thing about the capital of Canada. For some reason, every time I'm thinking about Canada and trying to name the capital, I don't go automatically to Ottawa. I'm going to Melbourne. Well, it's weirder because it's in Australia. And I know that's in Australia, but for some reason, the first answer I want to give is Melbourne. I don't know why. Literally, I have no idea why. Why is that not working? My
state of the United States. It's actually Hawaii, which is further south than any other state.
Yep. There you go.
Puerto Rico is an island in the Caribbean Sea.
Sorry,
and
I actually missed the last
one. It's a territory of the United States than any other state. Video. Florida is the southernmost state of the United States. It's actually Hawaii, which is further south than any other state. Puerto Rico is an island in the Caribbean Sea and is not a country on its own. It's a territory of the United States. Just like Bali is an island in a province of Indonesia and not a country on its own.
I think I'm gonna have to stop.
On its own. It's a sea and is not another state. Puerto Rico is an island in the Caribbean Sea and is not a country on its own.
No, it's a territory.
It's a territory of the United States. Just like Bali is an island in a province of Indonesia and not a country on its own. Now, on most maps, Greenland is 3 or 4 times smaller than Africa, while in reality it's closer to 14 times smaller. On some maps, and I must say shockingly, many maps, Greenland is even almost as big as Africa. Texas is not the largest state in the United States. It's Alaska, with a size of 1.72 million square kilometers, over twice as large as Texas. Many people assume that there is one time zone on Antarctica. Well, in fact, there are actually 9 time zones. According to the UN, there are 44 countries in Europe. But counting every country that's situated for even a small part in Europe, there are 50 countries including Turkey, Cyprus, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia, and Kosovo, which is recognized as a country by 98 UN member states. The World Health Organization also counts Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan as Europe, meaning Europe has 54 countries. One assumption of people is that penguins live in the North Pole, but they actually don't. The furthest the penguins go north is Peru, so they don't come close near Santa as many would like to think. Any images of penguins and polar bears hanging together are, once again, bogus.
Fake, yeah.
Polar bears live only in the North Pole, and so they would never meet unless it's in a zoo.
Penguins are in the South Pole.
Did you know Colombia is almost twice the size of France? The size of Colombia is 1.14 million square kilometers, and that of France is 644,000 square kilometers. Most people think Colombia is small, but that's probably because it's just next to Brazil. The Mississippi River is the longest river in the United States, is an assumption made by many. It runs through 10 states.
Is it in Colorado,
there is, however, a river 138 miles larger, which is the Missouri River.
Oh, Missouri River.
Just like the Nile is not the largest, it's the Amazon River. Did you know that not everyone in the world agrees with there being 7 continents in the world? A more typical division in Latin America is 5 continents, with America combined and Antarctica removed. Now, the United States borders more than just Mexico and Canada. On the map, it looks like it only borders these 2, but in reality, part of the country is next to the Bahamas, Cuba, and Russia. If you count overseas borders, they do have more than Mexico and Canada. Between the United States...
Yeah, but that's islands. I think when people think about border, they think about actual border that you walk on, not swim or on a boat or something like that. It just, I think generally people think that it just borders that because it's bordered as a physical thing that you can cross without, I'm guessing you can cross the border in the water as well, but you know what I mean, like.
Canada border, you don't always need a passport to cross if you're taking the Detroit-Windsor border tunnel, which connects Detroit, Michigan to Windsor, Ontario. Now, most of you will probably know this, but despite lying next to Morocco, the Canary Islands are politically seen part of Spain.
Yes.
Although deserts are known to be dry and sandy.
Why? I mean, what? Did I understand him right?
Despite lying next to Morocco, the Canary Islands are politically seen part of Spain.
Yes, and politically seen part of Europe. Politically. That's what I think I've said in our video about the Tenerife, because I actually had a conversation with my roommates when I was living in Canary Islands, and they wouldn't believe me when I said that, well, Canary Islands geographically are Africa, because they are part of Africa, but politically, as a part of Spain, it makes them part of European country, so that's okay. But why? I thought that most people would be actually going all their way that... I don't understand that one.
Although deserts are known to be dry and sandy, it can actually snow, and I'm not talking about Antarctica, which is also a desert. But in the Sahara and the Gobi, frost is fairly normal, and snow is not excluded. Most people associate Australia with hot, dry weather. However, the Australian Alps get on average more inches of snow than the famed Swiss Alps.
Huh, did not know that, again.
Hello.
And I have to say that... Sorry, a second there. There you go. Taking my list of what I didn't know, it's not working for me because I'm stopped paying attention to other facts and stuff, and there's like, so far I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6 because of the Australian Alps as well. I'm kind of confused about all that Canary Islands thing, but yeah, that's strange. Well, that's what it is, isn't it? And so far, so good. It's interesting. And I can't say that... I think out of, 2021, I'm actually not that bad. I just didn't know 5, so a quarter. It's kind of average, I guess. But let's just see what's gonna be, where we'll be going next. Because that was 20, or we're on 21, is it? But I need to get some kind of drink after that. Because my throat is getting really, really dry. Okay, we're almost at the end of the ads as well. There you go. So a volume back, and I always forget about that. Back to, so you can see as well, because I forgot about that in one of the last week when I was recording as well. And let's go, keep going.
Now, most regions on Earth receive some rain. The dry valleys of Antarctica, on the other hand, receives no rain or snow. They haven't had rain in about 2 million years. A fact most people get wrong, including myself, is that Africa is the largest continent in the world, while it is actually Asia. Africa has a size of around 30 million square kilometers, while that of Asia sits around 44.
Okay, this is something that I'm like... Why would people... I was always taught that Asia is the biggest continent, and Africa is the second biggest continent, so... Is the people really think that Africa is the biggest? Is it because of the map? Because people looking at the map, oh, this looks very big. But then South America would be looking very big as well, isn't it? Huh. Interesting.
Million, or 30% of the world's
I'm stop taking the...
Now, at the end of the 19th century, every country in Africa was under European rule. Or was it not? While most of the continent fell to the terrors of colonization, Ethiopia was actually able to stave off lasting European rule. Respect to Ethiopia.
Wow, yeah.
Did you know that New Zealand is not as close as to Australia as many think? The distance between the two is around 2,000 kilometers. Fun fact is that London in the United Kingdom is actually closer to Russia than New Zealand to Australia.
Damn.
The next misconception is created by the cartoon movies about Madagascar. While watching as a kid, you would probably never think about the geography, but you do probably still think as Madagascar to be a wild land with no humans. However, it has roads and cities and everything you can expect from a place with people. We all know that Russia produces the most oxygen, but most of the people don't know that oceans account for half of the oxygen we breathe in. So it doesn't all come from trees. The Maldives are believed to be a beautiful piece of nature, and it is. However, not all the islands are nature, since some islands are human-made as precaution for climate change.
Interesting.
The US dollar isn't only used in the United States. There are other examples like Ecuador. Contrary to popular belief, English is not the most widely spoken language. It's Mandarin Chinese, which has 1.1 billion native speakers. English has only 527 million.
Yep.
Many people think the Earth is a perfect sphere. The Earth, however, is not perfectly round, but it is an irregularly shaped ellipsoid. While I was searching for information, I encountered multiple websites saying there are many people who think Canada is the largest country.
That's
Now,
not
guys,
Russia.
Be completely honest with me, but is there anyone who still thinks it is? Comment if you thought Canada was the largest. We won't laugh. Mexico is many times believed to be the south of the United States. Now it shares the south border, of course, but did you know there are 11 US states that are more south than the northernmost point of Mexico? So is it really south?
Huh.
Most
That's a
people
good
think
way
of
of thinking
Egypt as
about
an
it.
African country. It is,
Yes.
but it's also for a part in Asia. Here's the
Yes.
small part that's in Asia. Afghanistan and Pakistan, although being believed to be in the Middle East, are not in the Middle East. The easternmost country is Iran. The next one is about the Dead Sea, which is often referred to as a sea, which seems logical since it's also in the name. It's, however, a saltwater lake. If it was a sea, it would have been a sea below sea level. Yeah, that's not possible. Now, it is commonly considered that landlocked countries do not have access to the sea. Some landlocked countries, such as Bolivia and Paraguay, do, however, have navigable rivers and ports on international waterways. On the map,
That's
Russia is
interesting.
larger than Africa, while Russia actually has a size of around 17 million square kilometers, while that of Africa, as previously discussed, is 33 million. Still, while it's 2 times larger, literally all world maps think otherwise. Basel, Geneva, and Zurich are not the capital of Switzerland, it's Bern. The capital of Australia is not Sydney, it's Canberra.
Canberra.
China is a massive country with several time zones. The entire country, however, adheres to a single time zone. This means that in some parts at 8 AM it's light, while at some parts it's still very dark. Brazil is larger than the continent.
Coming back to the Australia's fact, it's just the fact that, like I said, in case of Canada, I never come up with the Ottawa straight away, although I do know that. And I always want to try to say Melbourne. But Melbourne is in Australia, and that's not a capital either. So I don't know why I have a problem with those two countries and their capitals.
To the United States. Alaska is just too big. Africa is not the driest continent. It's actually Antarctica, since it's counted as a desert, and a desert means a dry place. Norway has the second longest coastline behind Canada. Many people assume it's the USA, China, or Russia. Norway, its coastline is 101,000 kilometers.
There's so many fjords.
I earlier said English is not the most spoken, but would you believe me if I said it's not the second too?
No, it's Spanish,
In
isn't
fact, Spain is the second most spoken language.
it? Spain,
Did you know
really?
Florida is not the closest state to Africa? It's Maine, which is 1,000 miles closer. The next one is about the pyramids of Giza, which are believed to be in the middle of the desert, but are actually just next to Cairo, and it's relatively easier to visit them than many people think.
I think I've seen some pictures saying that basically you can get McDonald's or Pizza Hut or something like one of the fast foods, or even few of the fast foods have their places just right outside, and you can eat fast food with the view for pyramids in Giza. It's just kind of crazy, but that's what it is. Cairo is not a small city, and it has to grow as well. So yeah, I don't know.
And already the last fact of this video. The largest pyramid looking at volume is not in Egypt. In fact, it's in Mexico. Great Pyramid of Cholula. It stands 177 feet and it covers 45 acres. So these were the 50 geography facts most people get wrong. Did you know them all, or were you surprised by some facts?
I was surprised by
Leave a
some,
comment
but
down below if you were actually surprised by some facts, and don't forget to subscribe while you're on your way there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next of Earth Basics.
yeah, that was very good. Really kind of interesting. Opening eye as well. I'm kind of still confused about how people would be thinking that Africa is the biggest continent. Like, I really don't understand that. The just pure landmass. Like, basically here, if you're gonna see on this map here, this is Africa. This is where the Africa stops, and this is Asia already. Turkey, Syria, that's all Asia, isn't it? So that's a big amount, and all the islands as well. This is what was surprising the most. Not the fact that I didn't know that, it's just that people think that Africa is bigger than Asia. And I just really don't understand why. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!